Samuel Smith. My love of the sea and the rivers and everything nautical sprang to life in the mid to late 90s working on board cruise ships travelling the world. Being a keen photographer since the age of 15, my skills as a landscape photographer has been recognised nationally and internationally, and my photography has been published in magazines worldwide. Owning a river cruiser has been a burning ambition of mine, and I fell in love with Teasel the minute I saw her. The beautiful unspoilt River Nene has become my playground and my source of inspiration, my place where I can relax, my place where my best and happiest memories are made. Boating, riverside scenery, and photography. What more could you want? In this episode, we'll be exploring an area south of Great Doddington. We'll be taking a closer look at the beautiful Summerlee Nature Reserve, and then following the River Nene upstream, photographing and exploring the flood meadows. And then we'll be ending our journey at the wonderful Hardwater Mill. You might have been wondering why you haven't seen good old Teasel for a little while. Well, the reason why is because I've taken her out, so she's out of the water and she's on hard standing now for the winter season. So she'll go back into the river in possibly March. But while she's out, I'm going to be doing some maintenance on her, so giving her a good clean, letting her dry out, and doing a bit of paintwork as well, including anti-fouling at the bottom there as well. So getting Teasel all ready, shipshape, ready for the spring. If you are navigating the river in the winter or after heavy rainfall, look out for these signs here. This is a strong stream advice, and this is what the Environment Agency issue. They put on every lock point. They close the locks as well sometimes, and it's just to control the flow of water. In times of flood, it's incredible to see how the landscape changes. There is so much water at the moment running off the fields and into the river that the Environment Agency have issued what's called a strong stream advice, or an SSA. Now, these don't happen very often, but what happens is the Environment Agency go to every lock, and as you can see, they open the paddles to control the flow of water. There's a lot of water coming off the fields. We've had snow, we've had ice, we've also had lots of rain as well lately. So of course it's got to run off the fields and into the water and eventually down to the sea. The River Nene is well known for its guillotine locks. As you can see at the moment, the Environment Agency have put the guillotine lock in the down position. The reason why is this is to control the amount of flood water that's going through at the moment. You can see there's a strong flow, and it's just controlling that flow just a little bit more. There's a little red light up there which is telling boaters not to navigate. It's not a good idea. I would not want to put Teasel on the river in these sort of conditions. Who knows what could happen. After the Norman conquest, William I seized Hardwater Mill and gave it to his niece Judith. According to local legend, the property later became the brief hiding place for Thomas A. Becket, who had escaped the Council of Northampton. He eventually made it to France, where he remained in exile until 1170. The mill sits on its own little island in the middle of the River Nene, with one branch of the river passing directly underneath one end of the house. When the river is in flood, boaters often slacken their lines to allow for the rise and fall of river levels. Even when the river is in flood, there are some wonderful places you can still explore. I am at Summerlee's Nature Reserve, just outside Great Doddington, and literally 10 minutes away from the River Nene. It's a fantastic place, absolutely wonderful. Summerlee's Nature Reserve, situated on the Hardwater Road, just past Great Doddington, has been around for about 20 years. It was opened by the actor who played Onslow in Keeping Up Appearances. In the winter, it's all about detail, looking out for scenes. There are still shots to be had. Just get out with your camera and go and enjoy the countryside. Beautiful, I think that's going to work out really well. 20 years ago, the Nature Reserve was not much to look at, but much has changed. Well-maintained footpaths lead you around the approximate 2.5-mile route, past a wide variety of habitats. There are reed beds and lots of water. Scrapes have been formed and secure nesting sites. There are several well-maintained hides and a few tables and benches near the car park. In the winter months, it's really hard to get inspired to go out and take some pictures. It's dull, it's miserable, it's damp, it's wet and it's overcast, just like it is today. But I've come out with my camera. I've got my zoom camera here, my compact camera. So I'm going to use my telephoto lens and my zoom lens, and I'm going to zoom in and take some nice pictures. Wandering off the beaten track, and you will be rewarded by some of the River Nene's best kept secrets. Putting on your walking boots and enjoying the fresh, crisp winter air. It's beautiful along the river at this time of year. Of course, there's other ways of exploring the river too. Wading birds use the scrape and the shallow lake margins. Oyster catcher, ringed plover, little ringed plover and redshank stay to breed, while whimbrel, turnstone and common sandpiper often pass through during migration. it be a cold, crisp morning or a sunny afternoon, this place is a beautiful, peaceful haven with large amounts of wildlife waiting to be seen all the way around the 2-mile walk. The bird station is always teeming with a variety of finches, robins, all manner of birds, and the lakes are home to lots of wildfowl. There are several hides around the lakes providing excellent viewing for all wildlife. The paths are mostly hardcore gravel and usually dry, but with the odd muddy spot, so accessible to all. Watching the feeding birds reminded me of a poem by Shreya Ashar about the robin. Robin sang sweetly when the days were bright. Thanks, thanks for summer, he sang with all of his might. Robin sang sweetly in the autumn days. There are fruit for everyone, let's all give praise. In the cold and wintry weather, still hear his song. Somebody must sing, said Robin, or winter will seem long. It's incredible to see how the landscape changes when the River Nene is in flood. No longer do we have the beautiful meadows, but now we have floodplains. When the River Nene is in flood, the entire length of the River Nene transforms and its banks are almost indistinguishable. Bathed in absolutely amazing, beautiful, glorious winter sunlight, I can't think of a better place and I'd rather be than exploring the wonderful banks of the River Nene.